Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg.
So I'm back. I know everybody
Welcome
missed
back,
me
Mimi.
last week. I know, I'm so excited. I am a brand new grandmother, and she is precious. So I'll brag for like 5 seconds about how
Only
fabulous and wonderful she is. Yeah. I've been kind of going over there maybe every day to help out and take care of her.
Because they need the help or because you just want to go by and see?
A little of both.
Okay.
A little of both.
Okay.
I ran by there this morning so Autumn could take a quick nap because she'd been up all night with baby. So I went and snuggled her for a little bit this
what
morning.
a hardship.
I know. It was a difficult job. It's a difficult job, but somebody's got to do it. So,
Right.
But yeah, no, thanks for holding the fort down last week. I know we had some great guests. I was listening in while I was sitting in the hospital room.
Right.
So I got to listen to Brian Taylor and Mike. And so real quick update though, for those who listened in last week, don't forget Mike is hosting his Lunch and Learn tomorrow at our office.
I had a moment of panic because I didn't realize it wasn't me, Mike. It's Mike.
No, not you,
Spence.
Mike Norfield is not hosting
I got some.
a podcast allegedly, or
I'll be getting some Red Bull on the way
A
home
Lunch
and
and Learn.
crash course in that topic. So
yeah. Well, I think he's got some really great stuff to talk about for small
I'll be-
businesses. So if you're out there and you're kind of worried about like your business credit or how do you get business credit, or you're looking for like small business loans, things like that, Mike is going to be talking about all those things tomorrow at our Lunch and Learn at noon at our office in Forest, and it's free to come to. So
do you need to register for that on this?
It's appreciated if you do register.
But if you didn't, so let's say you haven't registered yet and you want to come, you can still come.
You can still register.
Okay.
You can go on cvabc.org to our events page and register, or you can come. We just, want to make sure we have enough chairs for everyone. So if you can register, that's great.
Yeah. And do you have to be a member of the CVABC to come to that?
You don't have to be a member to come to that.
Okay.
We want you to come and learn. That's, I think that's part of the thing that with the CVABC we try and do. Like, we're here for small businesses. And yes, we do have, memberships and people, are members. But when it boils down to it, we're here for our small business community. And, we want you to come and see what types of things we offer. So Lunch and Learns, coming to our coffee talks and our networking events, things like that. So then you have a better idea of,
Of the value of the CVABC.
Yeah, of the value, and to be honest, the community that we kind of have put together for our small businesses. So no, you don't have to be a member at all. We encourage non-members to join us, and you just have to bring your own lunch. It's Lunch and Learn, but you bring your own lunch. That's how we keep this a free event.
Yeah.
So.
But it's if it's hard for you to get away from your business or from your job, this is a great way where you can come bring your lunch, you can eat, and you can lunch and learn at the same time.
Absolutely.
So, multitasking is at its best.
Yeah. And speaking of learning, I will also really quickly bring up our Lead On Summit.
Yeah.
Is happening in a couple of weeks. March 21st, we're going to be at the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center here in Thaxton. And I'm really excited for this year's event. We have some fabulous speakers. I've been talking with each of them on kind of what they are going to be talking about and, what they're going to be kind of giving these small business owners that are out there, just giving them so many resources and, just things that they can look at in their business and see, is there something they need to tweak? Is there something they're doing that they, they're not doing, they should be doing, or, is something that they could just, elevate in their business. And I'm really excited. If you're checking Facebook, we do have a page for Lead On, so you can find that. It's this, the Lead On Summit, and we're posting the speakers there and our topics. So it's $75 if you're a member. It's $99 if you're a non-member. That's for a full day of, speakers. One of them is actually doing a workshop along with it. It includes your breakfast, it includes your lunch. So it's really great value for what you're going to get that day. And so you can also go to cvabc.org and sign up for that as well.
Awesome. So did you have any other news to share, or I have some good news to share.
Am I supposed to have 'em? Let me think. Well,
No,
you know me. I always come up with news. I got all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
just asking before I share.
But go ahead and share yours.
So we literally have good news here today. So we have Kevin Maples with Good News Magazine.
You crack me up.
I couldn't help that joke. I was fighting, just waiting for you.
That's hilarious.
To give me that opportunity. Yeah,
timing.
so
That's hilarious.
we've got some good news for you today. We've got Kevin Maples from Good News Magazine. It's a fairly new publication in the Lynchburg area, Greater Lynchburg area. I like that term. And it's fantastic. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how Good News got started here in Lynchburg.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here and excited about the work that you guys do. And this is a great podcast. I've enjoyed listening to it and finding about the community. We are new to Lynchburg, but we're not new. We've been publishing local magazines for over 40 years. And we have a national magazine called the Farmers Exchange. So if any farmers are out there listening, they're probably familiar with that. That's our company as well. And the way the Good News Magazine started was during the pandemic. Our CEO was quarantined just like everybody else in America. And as he was sitting there watching the news, he just felt like we were just being overwhelmed with negative. And so he had a little project that was meant to be like a one-time special issue. He got together stories of people serving and volunteering and doing great things in the community. And he put it together in a magazine and mailed it out to his community to encourage people. And they just went crazy over it. And that's when we realized there was this huge desire out there for people to hear positive things that were local. You know, so much of the news that we see is global and national, and people are looking for things that are right in their community and things that are positive. And so that's how it began. It just began out of that, and it took off from there. So now we got the magazine in 9 different cities and 3 states. So it's in Kentucky and Virginia and Tennessee.
Very cool.
I always love a feel good story. You know, you see them so rarely nowadays. I mean, honestly, you really do. You're completely right. You see more of the negative, and we need more positivity in the world. I think. I think we'd be so much better off if I'm not saying everything needs to be sunshine, rainbows, and sprinkles, but you definitely, when you see those feel good stories, it encourages, I don't know about everybody else, but myself, it encourages me to do better and to focus more on the good instead of always looking for the bad or, just kind of, I don't know. I think that's great. And I've seen the magazine, and you're right. It is definitely different. It's something that you're not going to find, anywhere else or with any other magazine in our area. So,
well, I think we bring balance. Breaking news. Their job really is to report oftentimes crime and corruption and things in the community, and that's it's very important. We need that. Mm-hmm. We need that. No criticism whatsoever. We need that. But what happens is if our only source of information is breaking news, then we're constantly being inundated with negative things. Yeah. And so celebrating good things that are happening in the community, it helps us really change the narrative. And when people hear that, often we think about like a spin doctor who's trying to make something sound like what it's not. But that's not the case with our magazine at all. We don't have to exaggerate anything. We don't have to make anything up, because there are great people in the community that are doing great things. And all we have to do is to shine the spotlight on it. Right. And that brings the balance to help people see their community in a different way and realize that there really are great things happening here in the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Visiting Angels focus this year, my as the leader of Visiting Angels, I guess, my focus has really been on community. And the thing that I love about this magazine is not only is it good news, but I look forward to this magazine showing up in my office. And there aren't many that I say that about, because I love the stories in it because they're about people in our community. And what I love is that the stories are also community driven, because people can share their story or there's a link that you can go to, and you can send in a story idea or something like that. So if you've got someone in your community that just kind of shines, especially bright in your life, you can kind of put focus on them, because you've had stories on Dreamforge magazine. You've had stories on Love Heals, which was our nonprofit of the year for CVABC this year. And several other, Mike from the White Hart Cafe, Lynchburg's Living Room. Yeah. And a couple other things like that, where it's like, wait, I don't know these people. I don't know all these people, but you see them enough. Pop's Good Humor.
Yes. Love Pops.
Right. So I've never met him. Just follow him, see his post on Facebook every once in a while. But I love his excitement and his communication to share through Facebook and things like that. And just his story of just having this dream of having this old fashioned ice cream truck.
Quick story about Pops, though. I gotta say something about him that I love and that I'll just bring up. He provided ice cream at our Christmas in July event last year.
Now I'm sad I didn't go.
Yeah, so he did. But poor thing, when he came, his ice cream truck got stuck.
Oh,
like
no.
his and then so he's like, well, I have to go get my other truck and come and get it pulled out. Well, then he comes and brings the other truck and the transmission goes out.
Oh no.
And it was like this whole just for me would have been just a catastrophe. Like it would have been like worst case. But he was so, and that's where maybe it's the whole good humor. Like he was just so upbeat about it. He was just as nice as could be. Was like, I'll just get it done. But truly great person.
And his trucks are not new. Like they are old
they
vintage. So when he's working with those, it's kind of like me. I'm 46. I break down all the time. So you kind of know and kind of expect that. So that's good.
Yeah.
But I love that he had a bad situation and still was just like, hey, that's yeah. But I love that you do that. Stories are written about people in our community. That's fantastic.
They are, and we want the community to be the source of those stories.
Right.
And that's one of the things that's great about the magazine. If you're watching Netflix one day and you think, well, I got a great idea for a TV show.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to listen to you.
No.
But you can submit a story all day long on our website, and that's where the stories come from. You go on the website, click the submit a story button, and we just need their contact information and a couple sentences about why they're a story. And every month we meet, we look through all those submissions, and that's how we choose the stories.
Right.
And so it's a great way to shine light on really the unsung heroes of the community.
Right.
People who aren't doing things to be seen, people who may not otherwise be noticed, but who really need to be celebrated, because this is the reason that we tell good news. We said we tell good news in order to inspire more good news.
Right.
We believe that people are interested in people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think about this. When you go to the grocery store and you're in the checkout aisle, and there's two things that they have there at every grocery store for last minute suggestive sales where they're trying to get you to make an impulse buy.
Right.
They have candy.
Yes.
And they have People magazines.
Yep. They do.
Right.
Yep. There's no computer magazines there. There's no truck magazines there. Those are more niche audiences, but they have all kinds of magazines about people because people are interested in people.
Right. And, whenever Sheena and I travel and, go on a trip somewhere or something like that, I think we spend as much time doing activities as we do just watching people and kind of like, what do you think their story is? Because you meet all sorts of different people and it's nice to be able to get to know people in your community, like the different nonprofits and the different business owners and things.
And when we realize that we're influenced by people, that's why we have fads. That's why we have trends. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we're all influenced by people.
Right.
So we're trying to celebrate people that are worth emulating.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to celebrate people that we think if we had more of them in the community, it would be a better place. And so if you know anybody like that, that's a great story for us.
Right.
And we try to run a full range of stories. Sometimes we have really spectacular stories. One of my favorite stories last fall was Scotty Booker. Scotty built a brand new house and then gave it to somebody he didn't know. This is one of the most amazing selfless stories I've ever heard. But he had that dream for a long time. He wanted to help people with housing, and he knew he couldn't help everybody, but he could help somebody. It took him 10 years to fund it, and he finally got the funding. He built the house. He put together a board that went around the nonprofits and asked them to nominate people who are worthy and needy.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing story, but they're not all that spectacular because we don't want people to open the magazine and every story is that big. So they think, well, the only way I can make a difference is quit my job and start a nonprofit. And that's not true. So no story's too big, but no story's too small either. If you know somebody that's making a difference, you need to submit their story and let people see just the practical ways that we really do create the community that we live in.
And that kind of leads me to one of the things I was going to say is that it doesn't have to be that you own a business. I think a lot of people, when they look at magazines and they see like some of the stories are all about businesses in the area and, things like that. And that's kind of what drives it. But that's not the case with Good News. It can be just anyone out there, like you said, doing something good for the community. It doesn't have to be just because they own this business and they're doing something good.
You can make such a positive impact on your community without it being a huge thing. Right. So, you get people every day that are doing things for people, and it's kind of the unsung hero kind of thing,
Mhm.
So this is your chance that if you've got somebody in your life that, what, this person really just makes my day a lot better. So
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too, and kind of like you did the feature on Mike with the White Heart,
Mhm.
it's about the person behind the business. Like a lot of
Right.
times people become the business, if that makes sense. Like they just think they know, like, okay, you're Mike with White Heart. No, this is Mike and this is who he is and this is what he's about and this is what he does. The White Heart's a small part of that.
Right.
But like you guys shine the light on the bigger picture and like you kind of are able to help.
So the
that.
business is the tool that Mike is using in order to
Yeah.
serve his community. So it's nice to be able to show the person that is motivated to.
I'm going to
give
submit
back.
a story about me every week. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you can. I
Just
don't know
playing.
that you'll get in every month. But you
I'm
can
just
submit a
playing.
story every week. Yeah, absolutely.
Sheena said she's got some cupcakes for you that never do that story. So
So,
my wife did say hi, by the way. She's our biggest fan. She always texts in. So she was like, "Hi, Kevin." She didn't know you were on today.
so what is the format of the magazine? Like if someone's, opening it up for the first time, what are
Yeah.
they going to see? Like how does that kind of work?
Yeah, it's a people magazine. Every story is a profile about a person. And so sometimes we'll celebrate organizations and things that they were doing, but we always do it through the eyes of a person. So this year, Meals on Wheels in Lynchburg, it's their 50th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And that's just a great organization. They do so much to
Yeah.
help people in our community. And so, we want to celebrate that. But again, we know people are interested in people. So we went to them and we said, "Hey, do you have some volunteers that we could celebrate?" And so they gave us a couple volunteers, and through the eyes of that couple, then we were able to also talk about Meals on Wheels and what they do. But it's people focused. So you're going to open up, you're going to see stories about people. And then in the back, there's a section called Good Times where we just celebrate fun things that have happened. Those aren't stories. Those are photographs with captions and kind of showing what's going on in the community. So you're just going to see all positive things about people who are right here in the Lynchburg area.
Yeah, that's great. And I do love, so the pictures in the magazine are great too. So, like I said, I look forward to, it's one of the magazines that when it comes, I get upset if it doesn't get put on my desk. For some reason, all the other magazines end up on my desk. But that one in Maryland, my mom works in the office in Maryland. She tries to steal it if she's listening today. Hi, how are you? And, but yeah, she steals that one because she likes the stories too. And I've been handing them out. So I need to stop handing them out because I don't think I've read all the stories in them, but I love that it's the positive thing and it's about people in the community, and it just I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's so refreshing to be able to have a story, and it's not about let's take like Media Squatch. So it's not about Media Squatch. It would be about Woody, right? And about his passion and his
hunt
story
for Bigfoot.
which is much more interesting than just a company
Yes.
that does podcasts and marketing and things like that, right? No offense, Woody, but
Oh, no.
same thing for Visiting Angels. Like my story is probably a lot cooler than, hey, we provide in-home care. So,
Mhm.
I always joke when we had table at Centerfest, we were the most boring table at the festival. So, it's refreshing to see the work that goes into the business by the individuals.
Well, you don't have to fight with your mom over the magazine because everybody can get it for free.
Yes.
Right. That was actually
that was
gonna be
like
my
my
next
next question.
question.
Yeah. Advertising pays for that magazine. So business and the community sponsor it. So as a reader, you can get it sent to your home every month, absolutely free. All you got to do is ask for it. So you just go to our website and you'll goodnewsmags.com and you can get a free subscription.
Okay, I'll have to do that. And and I understand that you can sign up for free, but you can also pay for a subscription. Is that correct? Did I see that on a website or something the other day?
Yeah. So we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're kind of set up for so many thousand copies, and once we exceed that, then there'll be an option to pay in the future. Yeah,
To make sure that you
to make sure you
guarantee
can get it. That's
your
right.
copies.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay, that's great. So, I always love to talk about myself a little bit. So Visiting Angels actually has an ad in Good News Magazine next month that we're working on. And the thing that I really like about the process with this ad with you, Kevin, is that we sat down and we talked about, we have a marketing team for corporate that we're locally owned and operated, but we have a support team nationwide. So they sent us an ad, and it looks like every other ad they've sent me, kind of thing. And it kind of gets lost if it's, has that same professional polished look every time. So I love that you were like, we need to find the focus and tell a little bit more of the story of Visiting Angels, and not just here's a list of what we do. Right.
Yeah.
And So I've been working on that this week and trying to really wrap my brain around it, because it's almost backwards from what I've been taught in my marketing experience, right? You want it to look professional, you want it to go, not that the ad won't look professional with telling our story, but like it's just very, here's the information and that's it. There's nothing about Visiting Angels and why we are the choice for home care and things like that. So,
well, one of the things we try to help businesses understand is that there's three fundamental aspects of marketing that you can never get past. I think it was Vince Lombardi that used to start every season. You know, he was a famous NFL football coach, and he would start every season in the locker room. He would hold up a football, and in front of all those professional athletes, he would start his speech with, "Gentlemen, this is a football." And I love that speech, because his whole point was no matter how high you go, no matter how advanced you are,
right.
you build on the fundamentals. You will never leave them behind.
Right.
And so whether you're Coca-Cola or Tesla, the fundamentals, you may get more advanced in how you do it. You may be able to spend a lot more money, but you never get past these three fundamentals. And three of the things that we try to help people understand is that you got to say the right thing to the right people at the right time. If you're listening, you're a business owner, or you do any kind of marketing, you really need to write those three things down, because you will never get past that.
Right.
You got to say the right thing to the right people at the right time. So let me explain that. When I say the right people, that's the audience. So the right people are the people that want or need your goods or services. And I talk to people all the time that they buy advertising and they never even asked who the audience was, which is crazy. If you don't talk to the right people, it doesn't matter what you tell them. You're wasting your money on advertising and marketing. So you got to make sure that you're with the right people, the people who want or desire your needs, your goods and services. And then you got to say the right thing. So your message determines how, when, or if they respond. So what you're saying, so you can get in front of the right people, but if you don't show them in a compelling way that you can somehow solve a problem or meet a need, they're not going to respond. Or if they don't even know how to respond, they're not going to respond. And then the third thing is at the right time, that's frequency. So every business is different and has a different cycle of goods and services. So if you think about this, like if you own a coffee shop, every day is the right day because people drink coffee every day.
Right.
If you sell mattresses, it might be 7 years before somebody wakes up one morning, their back's hurting, and they decide they need a new mattress.
Right.
So you got to stay consistent so that you make sure you're in front of that person on the right day, the right week, the right month, so that when they get up and they think, oh, this mattress isn't working anymore, I need a new one, that message is fresh. So those are the three things that I think people often miss, is that we got to say the right thing to the right people at the right time. And where I think so many people really misunderstand is they get hung up on the medium instead of thinking about the audience, message, and frequency.
Right.
So I ask people, I say, so what are you doing for marketing? And they'll say, oh, we do TV, we do radio, we do billboards, we do magazines. And whenever that's their first response, I immediately realize they do not understand marketing.
Right. Because
let me give you an example. We just had Super Bowl. If you're wanting to sell souvenir NFL jerseys, you got these Chiefs jerseys with Mahomes or Kelsey on it, and you want to sell those. Mike, would you advertise those on ESPN or PBS?
Right. I'd advertise on ESPN.
Yeah. But it's the same medium.
It's the same medium. Yeah.
They're both TV, right?
But different audiences.
That's right.
Yeah. There's
different channels on TV and they have different audiences. And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the audience. It's the same thing when people say, oh, I did. So if you advertise your NFL jerseys on PBS and then nobody buys any, are you going to go all around town and say, well nobody
TV
watches
advertising
TV?
Doesn't work. Right.
Yeah. TV advertising doesn't work. No, nobody watches TV.
Right.
That's idiotic. We know everybody watches TV and it works. And so what happens when people say they do marketing or advertising and they don't get a return on their investment, they've almost always either missed the audience or they've missed the message or they hit it at the wrong frequency. And so the first thing you want to ask when you're thinking about how to grow your business is who's my potential customer? And people will say, oh, everybody. Well, if you aim for nothing, you'll hit it every time.
Right.
You got to pick an audience, decide who's most likely to connect with my product, goods, or services,
right,
and figure out who that customer is. And then you look for, well, what channel are they watching? What magazine are they reading? Who is the audience? And so then we got to make sure we got the right message so that they know how you can meet a need or solve a problem. And then we got to make sure we get in front of them at the right time. And when you do that, that's when you're going to get a really great return.
Right.
And so those are kind of the conversations that we have with different businesses to try to help them understand how to market themselves in a very wise way that they can get a great return on their investment in marketing and advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that I loved about the experience of working with you on the ad was that you weren't just like, well, all right, here's the dimensions for our ad. So send us what you got. We'll put it in the magazine, because typically that's how that goes. But you were, we had like a 30-minute conversation about like where we thought the focus should be and things like that. And really gave me I'm not going to lie, Kevin, you gave me some hard homework.
Well, I've actually been thinking about your ad all weekend, and I got some great ideas for you. We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, like, I use this quote all the time. One of my favorite quotes is like, when you're building connections with people, it's not about all the contacts you get. It's about the relationships that you plant with those people. And it kind of goes into what you're saying in a way. You want to build a relationship with the correct people. So just putting it out there and hoping something sticks doesn't necessarily work all the time.
And so my marketing efforts over the last year, I have discovered that networking is greater than marketing for me. Okay.
Right.
Word of mouth is everything in Lynchburg. So I network with people. The referrals that I get from unlikely sources of people that I've helped to find a different kind of care, like, because there's all sorts of different kinds of home care, things like that. People that I've talked about their business and like, oh, I think this would work for your business. The referrals that I get from the community are people that I met through networking events and things like that, and working with the community, and not as much as some of our marketing efforts. And so Visiting Angels, again, we have the corporate support nationwide. They do commercials on Hallmark. I can't talk today. The Hallmark channel.
Okay, there you go.
And different things like that. And they test a market with ads, and they see how the national leads kind of come in, to the main Visiting Angels website and things like that. And so they've learned that the decision makers for home care a lot of time are daughters or daughters-in-law, right? And typically more women will watch Hallmark channel than guys do, but except for Woody. He's addicted. And
I love Hallmark.
Yeah, I knew you did. That was just a shot in the dark, but I knew it.
No, I feel like I did know that because I feel like him and Laura posted something of them watching. Watching Hallmark.
So the message about reaching your audience is I feel like they have done a good job of 20 years of business of doing that on a nationwide, but I have done a terrible job of that locally, because it's like, oh, here's a magazine, here's my ad, here you go. And so I like the what you said today, getting back to the basics and making sure you're reaching your audience.
Well, I think you're dead on when you talk about how beneficial networking can be.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to understand that is marketing. It's just
It's just a different
a different type of marketing. And the thing about networking, there's no question that it's extremely effective.
Right.
But you can only do so much of it. You can only be so many places.
Right.
And so I think with paid advertising, we can multiply.
100%.
Right.
100%. Yeah, I'm talking about for me to be able to reach into the community, things like that. But as far as our business, like, the marketing is, you've got to reach, if you could only sell to the people you knew, you would not have very many customers. So
that's right.
Yeah. So it's all about the introduction and that first impression. And
so tell me, we're talking about different types of marketing and advertising. Why do you suggest people do print now, with magazines and things like that? What is, why is it good as a business owner to utilize print for your marketing efforts?
Well, first of all, let me restate that question, because I'm not advocating that people do print.
Okay.
I'm advocating that people connect with the right audience.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we say, well, people should do radio, people should do billboards, people should do print, we're kind of focusing on the medium.
Yeah.
And so I really want to get people to understand it's about the audience. So should you do print? Well, the first question is, who's reading that print?
Right.
You want to make sure you know who's reading it. And then you ask, are the people that are reading that, is that my target customer base?
Okay.
Are these the people that I want to become my customers? And so when you think about print, 78% of the people that read our magazine are women.
Mm-hmm.
We mail those out to homes where oftentimes there's a man and there's a woman there. But the people that 78% of people are women.
Yeah. I am the 22%.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But do you know who's driving most of the purchasing decisions in our economy?
My wife.
Yes, that's
Your
right.
wife.
That's right.
Sheena, she does it all.
She does it all.
That's right.
What's that package for? Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
So you think about this Good News magazine, it's all heartwarming stories about positive things in our community. The people that it really resonates is with the people that really care about the community and want to see things go in a very positive direction. So, and we don't want to get into demographics on the podcast, but there's a lot more specific things that we know about our audience because we actually mail every magazine to a reader. So because of that, we're able to survey our readers and find out who they are.
Right.
And so the question is really not, should I advertise in print or should I not? The question is, who's your audience and does that match my customer base or the people that want to become my customers?
Right.
And so those conversations are completely free. I'm full-time here in Lynchburg. My only job is connecting with people about stories and advertising. So if you're out there listening, I'd love to come by your office, love to have coffee with you.
Yeah. And he's super easy to work with too. I got to tell you, you don't come in and be like, well, if you don't do this ad, you're really going to lose out on business. It's just like, here's what our options are. This is what we do. I think this could be a good fit for you, but let's have a further conversation about it. And it was an easy process. And I appreciate that because I don't like are you going to do this ad or not? Right.
Oh yeah. Well, we're not trying to sell advertising. We don't even know until we've had a good conversation with you if we would even want you to advertise in our magazine.
Right.
I mean, we don't want just anybody in the magazine. We're very selective. We want people that we feel good about pushing customers toward their business.
Right.
So that's the first thing is we want to make sure that you're even somebody we really want to work with. So we're not going to come in and try to sell you an ad right off the bat. We come in and try to understand who you are. And then once we understand who you are, we try to help you understand how to develop a plan where you can really reach those people. And it may not be the right fit for us.
Right. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fine. Yeah. Absolutely.
One of the things I'll mention, and I'm sure people who are listening and call what Kevin said, because, your magazine, though, is also mailed out to people who have specifically requested the magazine. That it's your advertisement is getting out to those targeted markets. Because if you're just going and you're in a magazine that's just racked all over, the area, people pick if you're like me, sometimes I'll pick them up and then they just sit on my desk because, I've grabbed one, but I'm not necessarily opening it, or I'm opening it for maybe one specific thing I know is in there, but I'm not looking at the entire magazine. But, for those who have, subscribed to Good News,
they're looking forward to it.
Yeah, they're looking forward to receiving it because they've actually put in the effort to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Well, we're very fortunate to have a lot of great magazines in this area that are very beautiful and well done. And so I don't want to in any way disparage any other magazine. There's some beautiful magazines. We're very fortunate to have all of them. Yeah. I would just say, just like any medium you're looking at, you just want to ask who's reading it and then figure out if that's your customer base.
Which one works best for you?
Yeah.
Right.
And the truth is, if you buy a billboard, that doesn't mean you only need one billboard. Not everybody drives on that road, right?
Correct.
And they do when I'm trying to get somewhere. Well, everybody decides to take the same route as me.
Road. That's right. That's right.
So, at least it feels like it.
So it's great to have a diverse plan and multiple and advertise in all these different places. But you just got to figure out what's right for you. But but we mail 6,000 copies a month right now in the Lynchburg area.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so every single one of them is mailed to a reader. About 800 of those we mail to businesses that we know that have waiting areas so they can display it. The other 5,200 go to residents. So because we mail those out, we know who's receiving them. Last January, we hired an auditing firm to survey our readers. And obviously, we weren't in Lynchburg yet, but in the other markets, we found the numbers pretty much the same across the board. When they surveyed our readers, 90% of the people said they read most of the magazine every month. 80% said they read it cover to cover every single month. And I think that's because it's local and it's positive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really resonates with people. So we really can get you in front of a great audience.
Right. And so it's also available. So if you've missed, because we've had how many issues?
I think we're on 6 now.
I think it's 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was missing one. There was a story that I wanted to read that somebody had mentioned to me when I was talking about, because I actually carry your business cards in my pocket because I think it's such a great magazine that I pass them out.
I love that.
See if I'm a liar or not. I know I got them. I got too many pockets. But I was telling somebody about you and they're like, oh yeah, I read this story about XYZ, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, I didn't see that story. What wasn't an issue that I didn't have? but I was able to go online and read the story. And so I like that too, that there's also the website where you can go and look at stories, and it's easy to share. I sent one to my sister, and that was easier. She lives 4 hours away. I can't just walk over and show her the magazine. So it was great to be able to share, like, hey, look, this is a cool story about Lynchburg, and I like the it's online as well.
Yeah.
So tell us again, Kevin, if someone is looking to, whether it's get a hold of you for advertising or to submit a story idea, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah. So our website is Good News Mags. That's MAGS, goodnewsmags.com. And my email is simply kevin@goodnewsmags.com. And that's the easiest and best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome.
I'm turning over to Mike because he usually asks our
I
last
do.
question.
So I ask a couple questions to every podcast guest. Hopefully you got an email that had these questions in them, because I think it's automatic, but not going to put you on the spot or anything. But how long have you been part of the CVABC?
Yeah, I've been part of very new. I just recently joined.
I think it was
just a couple months ago.
We had lunch at the clubhouse, and I think you joined. I was telling you about it.
It was right after our January coffee talk.
Yeah, very recent.
So
really
Awesome.
excited to be a part of it. I've been very impressed with what I've seen, and this is great to be a part of the coalition.
Yeah, it is. And so you've been a member for a little while. So what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
Well, there's tons of benefits I've already seen.
Right.
I think one of the greatest is just the ability to meet like-minded people and to be able to network so that we can all work together. I kind of live by that old adage that a rising tide lifts all boats.
Right.
And I think
that's one of our mottos around here.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I think that I don't want to win at the expense of someone else's loss.
Right.
I really want to see us all succeed together and all grow. And meeting people that share that mindset enables you just to collaborate in a way that creates just this synergy of cooperation in a community that just makes a better place for all of us.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on with us today, Kevin. Appreciate it, and telling us more about Good News. I hope some of our listeners go out and subscribe to the magazine so that you guys can see
and submit a
what
story.
we're talking about. Yeah, and submit a story.
Who is a shining star in your world, right? So Sheena and I she always sends me text messages during the podcast, and I was sitting here and I was like, oh, what about this? And she was like, yes, and she submitted the story while we were going today. So and it's something that, I mean, it wasn't an impact on thousands of people in the community, things like that, but it's somebody that did something for someone in their life that needed help, and it was a big effort on his part, but so I don't want to spoil it in case it becomes a story, but yeah, it's just someone that we know through karaoke. So, we thought it would be a cool thing. So nominate someone today, like make that your goal, like either nominate someone or think about who you would want to read a story about.
Right.
So if you get 50,000 nominations for me, you know why. I'm just kidding.
That sounds great. We look forward to reading all of them, Mike.
Yeah. So all 50,000.
All 50,000. That's right.
So, but I mean, there's got to be someone that has had a positive impact on your life, and what a great way to highlight them and show it to more of the community.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Sounds great. Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
America's Choice in Home Care.
That's a good jingle.
Man, that's a great
That
commercial.
is top notch all the way around.
So if you own a business or work at a business, and you're like, man, that would be great for us. We talked about reaching your audience. If you want to reach the audience of Talk Local to Me, hosted by Heather Alto and Heather Alto only.
That's correct.
And
Don't like,
send her an email at
We
heather
don't
at
know who this guy is.
cvabc.org, and you can have a commercial. You can either have it recorded by either the host or the guest that comes every week. That would be me. Or you can actually record it yourself if you want.
and don't sleep on, doing a commercial on the podcast or
Right.
getting your name. And because it's not even all about talk local to me. I mean, it is, but Woody has done a great job with Media Squatch and Grove Street FM in creating this space for our listeners that can also listen to other local podcasts that we, have here in the studio, or, live streaming music or sports or all the things that, Woody keeps adding to weekly, daily.
Let's keep talking more about Woody. I love
Yeah.
this.
Well, you got it. Okay. So I do have to ask a quick question though, before
ma'am.
we go to our next guest.
Sure.
I see you have a new mascot
For
for Media Squatch.
oh yeah.
You have a
But he's
putt.
not taking Grover's spot.
No,
So him
no.
and Grover are going to be friends.
Well, yes.
okay, I'm
Two-
just checking.
I would look at it as two different universes. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Well, I feel like there should be a book where they meet.
they might. Who
Look.
knows what's being worked on behind the scenes? I have a whole team in the warehouse.
Kind of like when
working
Steve from Blue's Clues went to college and that other imposter came in. that I
Oh
don't remember his
my goodness. I've
Yes.
forgotten. What was his name?
name. I don't know.
I don't either.
I didn't watch it. So
Yeah. After
No, I
Steve
have-
left,
I have
it just
Vinny.
wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Benny Bigfoot. That is the Media Squatch's mascot.
Maybe. I think so. Yeah,
yeah, I think
Joe.
it was Joe.
It was Joe. Good old
So,
Joe. Nobody remembers
awesome.
him.
So
So anyway, well,
Yeah.
now that we've got off on this completely
go.
different tangent that is
Rando.
yeah, just randomness. We have our guests for the second half of the show here. We've got Samantha and Amber with SNS. I keep wanting to say business services,
SNS
but it's
services.
SNS services. I try to
That's
change the
funny,
name of
yeah.
their business constantly, and that's fine because I can't. But yeah, so welcome you guys.
Hi.
It's great to have you back. Thanks.
Yeah, it's exciting to be getting back into the swing of thing. It's been a crazy 2024 so far.
it has.
I'm honestly surprised you guys have time to be here because I know like this part of the year is probably like super busy for you guys with, taxes. And I know you guys don't do taxes necessarily, but y'all are that other half, the bookkeeping half, the part that's making sure these businesses are submitting the correct things for their taxes or, making sure everything is compiled together to make the tax preparer's job even easier.
Right. Yeah. Well, the great part is since we are in the day to day with our clients, a good 90 to 95% of that preparation work is done at the time of when the expenses happen, when that weekly check-in that we do with the client, so that our year end, we pretty much are able, as long as the client has been communicative, given us the accurate information that we've asked for, then we're able to turn right back around and kind of provide those reports over to the tax preparer and let them do what they need to do. So we're very grateful for that. Honestly, we are really busy right now, but more so for businesses who didn't call us last year and now want us to fix last year because their tax accountant was like, this is very wrong. I can't do anything with this. Or, they're trying to file their own taxes and nothing looks right. So
Yeah, the first year that you were, because you work with Visiting Angels, we're very happy to have you.
we're so thankful.
And yes, and I have to say it, we're customer 0001. And but the first year that our tax preparer was kind of like, I don't understand some of these things. So we ironed it out, and we
Mhm.
and we used to get a big list of like, these are everything you need to fix, right? And then so I think that was, you would come on right after tax season. I think.
The
Do you
first
remember the
time I
month?
came in, it was October 2021.
So
That's right
there
when I
was
started
a big
the
list,
business.
and you helped us not only get that list corrected for the accountant, but corrected our processes and gave us some training to make sure that the next year was a lot easier. And every year that list gets shorter and shorter and shorter. I actually haven't even gotten an email back this year, so it'd be great if she'd be like, your taxes are done. But I know there'll be at least one or two things. So
There
'cause
shouldn't be.
there always is going to be like a little like, what is this? I have a question.
Mhm.
Not a, but I mean, it used to be a list of like 15 things, and it would take me like a solid week of
Yeah.
stressing, trying to get everything fixed and straight.
And that's the thing. Even if you do get that list back and we're in the picture, we will explain to you what they're asking for, the reason why. And we're always willing to be the go-between, like have the direct communication with your accountant so we can just go ahead and fix it without giving you that headache as well. We do that with a lot of our clients where we just ask direct questions back and forth. We have our own tax preparer partner, but our clients are allowed to use whomever they want.
Right. That's a nice
which
option
is
too.
really
that
awesome.
You're not locked into, if they sign up with you, they've got to use your tax preparer.
Correct. No,
Right.
we've got one in our back pocket and she's amazing if she's needed. But otherwise, we understand that a lot of people have tax accountant relationships when they come to us because a lot of tax accountants don't do bookkeeping. They
Right.
don't want to. And that's
Right.
fine. That's why I have a job and I'm very thankful.
Right. A
What
job
are-
and a team.
What are some of the business, like the things right now that you're seeing, like the biggest things you see when people are trying to get ready for this, their end of the year or the first quarter going into the next year? What are some of the things you see that they're struggling with or that y'all are having to really focus on?
Well, from a business perspective, a lot of it is, we do have clients who they're not as communicative as we would like with us throughout the year. And so we're still waiting on a lot of stuff. And then it kind of comes down to the wire like now, where next week is the deadline for corporations to file taxes. And they haven't given us stuff. So we're not done. But there's nothing we can do because we've already tried to do everything we can. And so then amendment or not amendments, but extensions are required. So that's usually the biggest thing that we're seeing. So if you do have a team in place, utilize them for what you're paying for. Be in active communication with them. Don't just leave us to guess. That's why a lot of things are wrong. And that's why we refuse to guess. And we would rather it be sitting there waiting than it be inaccurate. And then outside of that, people coming to us for cleanups, duplication of everything from duplicating their bills, duplicating their payroll, duplicating their income because they've got the mapping set up wrong, or they entered a bill and a bill payment here, but then they categorized it when it came into the bank. And, that's probably the number one thing that in all the cleanups we've had since November of last year, we've had 5 or 6 really large accounts that we've had to take over. And every single one of them has had a massive amount of duplication, which then leads to a ton of inaccuracies. There's no way you can have accurate numbers at that point.
It's just not understanding, the software that they're using.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like they might, overdo it because they're not trusting the software or they don't fully understand the software. So we just come in and explain, hey, you're taking 2 steps instead of 1.
Right.
And then it's not gonna.
I feel like I'm one of those people.
And then you have
I feel like you're talking about me.
Heather.
you are.
It
And then
was
you have,
me.
you have companies like I
I'm the
was going to
problem.
say Visiting Angels, but I'll
I
say
mean,
like the
Heather keeps us in
CBABC where it brings payments in, but then if you're pulling from the bank feed, it pulls it in, and then you double, and then you're like, wow, we're really rolling in the dough, and then you're like, wait, the bank balance is half of what it should be because
Now, I don't touch the bank stuff. That I will say I stepped out of. I don't like categorize.
We're working
I'm
on
really
working on
good.
invoices.
Yes,
we're working
I just tend to invoice twice.
That's okay.
that's okay.
It's fine. We catch it and we say, Heather, slap your hand, and then you're done.
It's
Yeah.
Things are so much easier, and I know for Heather, it's nice for her not to feel like she has to micromanage everything because she has so much on her plate. I know I'm speaking for you, but this is just what
That's
I
okay.
have
Keep going.
seen. Because you do a really great job, and we're so thankful for you. But that just lends to the power of delegation when you have a team around you, and it doesn't have to be internal employees, but just a team of fellow business owners or people or comrades.
Mhm.
It truly makes the difference in how far you can go.
Yeah, it makes our life a lot easier that we can delegate some of the bookkeeping out, and we don't really delegate a lot of it out, but just enough
Just
to
the
make
difficult stuff.
Yeah.
the difficult stuff. And it's also nice to have you there so that if we have a question, we can ask, and it's part of our, I'll call it the maintenance program. It's part of our maintenance program. We're not having an extra expense every time we do that because you're
just
a
built
great
in.
resource. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think too, sometimes it leads, especially when you're a small business or maybe you're like just an entrepreneur, one person, it's hard sometimes to let go. Like you feel like you have to have your hands in it. And I don't think it's because you don't trust, who you're going to. It's just that you don't trust yourself to not necessarily give up that thing. So you're right. Like being able to delegate. I've never been great at the delegation part. I always want to take everything on myself because then I know what's happening. And so kind of the unknown, I think, scares people. But I can say, Samantha and Amber and her team, they do a great job of, taking care of the things they need to take care of, but also explaining to me why they're doing what they're doing. And I'll, sometimes I'll message them and be like, hey guys, like, why is this there? Like, I don't like this. Like, what's this? Or like, I don't understand this. And they're really good about getting back to me and saying, well, this is why, because you did this, or, just this is how this has to be in order to make it match up or do what, you need it to do. So, with them, they always are able to, and they're quick about it too. I'm not waiting days.
Right.
It's literally most time it's seconds or minutes, or, they're usually the ones waiting on me.
Right.
So,
Well, that's our
Same.
mantra internally, is that our clients are not waiting on us. We're waiting on our clients. And then our turnaround time for communication, we try to keep it within that 24-hour time period, because we know how important that is to our business owners, because that's the main reason why they don't want to delegate, is because they want to know everything that's happening. And when things aren't getting done at a rate that is feasible for a small business who sometimes has to make quick decisions, then of course you're not going to trust that person if you're waiting a week to hear back from them. And then maybe your bookkeeping hasn't been done for the month yet, because that's how a lot of accounting firms and bookkeepers function, is that they'll do the books for the previous month at the beginning of the next month. And that doesn't really work for a lot of small businesses who are, movers and shakers and want to make big decisions on, can I afford that $6.99 to get that billboard, or to get the poster at the baseball game or the football game or whatever. I don't know. Advertising's on my brain. So yeah.
yeah. And I appreciate that, because, most of the time y'all try and keep it as real time as you guys, can.
Mhm.
And I go in there quite a bit to look at, like, hey, where am I at this month? Have I gone over budget? Am I, under budget? Or, how many new members do I have to run out and try and, grab this month to make sure we are hitting
Hitting
our
goals.
goals and things like that. Although I usually have a good idea. But
In February, you kind of
It's a-
knocked it out the park. We had a
February we
great membership.
killed it. Like, yeah, I think it was like 3 over our goal. Like, we had
Awesome.
17 new members in the month of February.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
ranging from nonprofits to, just business owners and stuff. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
So I
it's great.
kept them on their toes, because I was throwing stuff in there like, hey.
Right. Hey, we got a new one.
It was
today.
good to see though, like when you update it and you refresh and all these numbers come in, you're like, oh,
Right.
let's go see the
So
ABC.
proud of them.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I don't want to like write checks for nothing. I'm like, no, I'm not paying you right now. Everything looks good. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't want any expensive. Woody's not getting anything.
My,
Woody don't expect a check.
Let
this
us sit
month.
in the account for just at least a week.
Yeah. Woody gets
We
nothing.
need to
this
get
month.
y'all an interest-bearing account.
right.
So-
My joke is, well, we can pay that tomorrow and we get to keep it for one more day. Like it's not late, but it's not early, so one more day won't hurt.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that balance.
Yeah. I do that simply so I can make the APY, because I have an interest-bearing checking account.
Mhm.
Oh, here you go.
Well, I think the other thing too, and I know we've talked about this before when Samantha has been here, is just it's great to see the growth that SNS has had in the past 3 years. That
It's a
we
lot of
have
growth.
been working together.
It's insane.
Because when we first started, there was Samantha,
yeah.
and now you have a team of how many?
It fluctuates a little bit, or we're sticking at 8, because in our really busy season, I have some people who will come on and help a little bit here and there with cleanups, just because they can take small tasks off the team and it helps them a lot. But for the most part, we're at 8. We're very thankful. I did our numbers, and it's about 300 businesses in the last 2.5 years that we have helped,
Wow.
whether it be a QuickBooks subscription, because we offer discounts on that, to teaching, to cleanup, to routine management, or managing for a time period and then allowing them to go back to doing it themselves if that's what they want, or just kind of like a combination of any of the things that we offer and do. And that's just insane to me. And that's 300 businesses throughout 14 different states too, and probably a third to half of them are local businesses, which is I cannot believe the amount of trust and value that that our team has gotten to be a part of in the last 2.5 years. I'm trying really hard not to cry.
There's no cameras. You can cry. Just do it silently.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
Well, one of the things you touched on too, and I really like this about SNS, is that you don't have to come to them because you need the whole you know,
You don't need
the whole kit and caboodle or whatever. That's like a really, I'm
That's what I
aging
was gonna
myself
say,
when you
too.
say that.
I was
but,
going to say it too. It's fine.
yeah, I couldn't think of a better way to put it. But, you know, they are willing, if you already know QuickBooks or you already have, you know, you just need a second pair of eyes to come in and make sure you did something correctly, or
just to delegate a few tasks. Because you
Yeah.
don't have time,
Yeah.
because as a business owner, time is the only thing that's the only thing I run out of every week.
We have mini packages to, you know, allow small businesses earning less than 50K to get full service bookkeeping, or those earning over 50K to be able to delegate the hardest tasks or
Mhm.
the most confusing to them, or just have someone available.
So, and you've
we have about
even
15 businesses who we serve in that way, and it's awesome.
and making sure that they have the right thing. You know, I don't know if this is like an official capacity, but you've also helped guide several people that I know, like, hey, if you need to get an LLC, here's the website you go to do it, and things like that.
Mhm.
So I love that you are willing to, you know, give little tidbits and things like that to help people. And it's not necessarily, well, you're not my client, I'm not going to help you.
I don't like gatekeeping.
No, everyone that I know that you helped with that, it now works with you and is a client. So, I mean, so there's some smart things there, but I love that you're just very open and honest, and hey, here's what we can do to help, and you know, hey, this might work better,
Mhm.
things like that. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what so right now, let's just say you said next month, what, a couple weeks, next month is a deadline.
Well, next week
is
is for corporations.
Okay.
LLCs or personal taxes are April.
Right.
And a lot of businesses or individuals don't realize that there's two separate ones.
Okay.
Yes.
So my question is, if somebody just apparently woke up today and was like, oh, I got to do my taxes, is there still time for you to help them? Like, you know, are y'all
we
able
would
to do that for people?
immediately connect them with Melanie and get an extension in, and then spend the next 30 to 60 days cleaning up their books or doing whatever we need to do. And then between May and June, their taxes could be filed, because that's one thing that we've discussed with Melanie, is that even if they have to have an extension, we want to get them done before midsummer,
Right.
because we don't want people waiting until September, October,
Right.
unless.
but that extension is easy for someone
Right.
who knows how to do it to file, and
Yes.
it buys you extra time to where you still want to do it quickly, but you're not rushing to get it done
Correct.
with like a
It gives
2-week
you some
deadline.
leeway.
Right.
Okay. So how can somebody get a hold of you if they're looking to ask you for that extension, or you know, want to throw that curveball at you?
So you can visit our website and see our consultation calendar, or hit our contact form at sscustombookkeeping.com, as well as you can shoot me a text or give me a phone call at 434-299-3920. And we'd love to talk with you, even if you're not sure what you need. We have that free 30-minute discovery call just for that purpose.
Perfect. I'm
Awesome.
sure you'll be busy in the next couple weeks.
All right. So I have questions I ask every podcast.
Okay.
I don't want to put you on the spot, so I'm going to ask Amber.
Perfect.
Revenge.
You need to talk more, Chef.
Revenge of the Pickles.
Oh my goodness.
So
I
wait,
need to tell that story.
is it Amber or is it Laura?
Yeah, which one's actually? No, I know which one. I can tell them apart.
So yeah, I can too.
Can you? Yeah.
I
Can you
can't do
now?
now.
Yeah,
But
can you now?
just fun fact: if you have friends, make sure they don't have a twin before you just walk up and randomly hand them a gift. Because it was her sister, not her, and she just looked at me like I was crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. Best
So,
day of my life.
yeah,
a
it
couple
was-
weeks ago. I laughed so. I have not laughed that hard. Like
Yeah.
you know, like one of those just deep belly. Like you just are laying on the floor laughing.
Yes.
That was me.
I had texts on both sides, and I was already sitting down on the couch. I'm glad I was sitting down. Otherwise, I probably would have fallen down laughing. I
Right.
was laughing so hard. It was hilarious.
We'll have to do a special episode and we'll tell that story.
On just pickles.
Yeah. So the question that I ask every guest that comes on is, how long have you guys been a part of the CVABC?
3 years.
Since we started in October.
3 years.
3
You were
years.
my
All right.
first marketing my first marketing expense.
Right.
And
See the growth, friends. I'm just saying.
and Amber, what do you think the greatest benefit of being part of the CVABC is?
Oh man, community. Like there's just so many ways to get your face out there, and that is I think that's a huge deal in Lynchburg, because loyalty is a big thing in Lynchburg, and if they can trust you,
Right.
seeing your face, if you're part of the membership, if you have a membership or you're part of the CVABC and you're going to the events, people are going to remember that.
Mhm.
And it just, people trust the CVABC, so they're going to trust if Visiting Angel says, hey, go see SNS or something like
Right.
that. Like, it's community is a big thing in Lynchburg, and if you're part of that community, you're gonna.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's great. And
Great answer.
Samantha, what do you think the greatest benefit is?
Podcast.
Yes, I did
It's
not just
the
mouth for
best
her to say
thing
that.
ever.
No, I just tease.
No, I
podcast
really
is
do
fun.
love the podcast.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. So
I like coffee talk. Sorry.
yeah, Coffee Talk is great. I love so the lead on summit last year was fantastic.
I
and
like getting
several.
to dress up for the annual dinner.
I don't.
Well,
No, it
your
was a
wife
lot of
does.
fun.
She
Oh,
was
she
my
had
twin.
and she looked gorgeous. So she, when she's like, "I'm buying this dress," I'm like, "Okay," and she looked fabulous in it that night. And so happy that she won
I'm
Rising
so proud
Star.
of her.
It was a great thing. So she's still shocked, right? So she bought a frame for her award, her certificate.
Deserves
Mm.
everything.
She does.
Yeah.
So she's almost as sweet as the cookie she makes. So,
Ew.
All right, this podcast started. to go
Oh.
down.
I'm sorry.
We're
We're
getting a little sappy here. No,
Can't
I'm just
help
playing.
so
It's sweet.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you guys though. The community part is big. And I think, for me, that's one of the things I love the most about what I do is being able to, connect. And that's part of our thing is connecting communities and connecting businesses. And, a lot of businesses are business to business. A lot of them are business to community. And I feel like we fill that niche pretty well with all the different things that we do for different types of businesses and services that are provided in our area. So yeah, appreciate it. So, thank you guys for coming on today and for doing my books and keeping me straight. And
Well,
greatly
doing our books.
appreciate it. Yeah, not necessarily keeping me straight. So, but I will really quickly throw out there again. Make sure you guys get your tickets for the Lead On Summit.
Yeah.
And Mike just touched on it again. Samantha, I know Amber, you were there last year, right? Yeah. So
all three of us, because Jasmine's here, but not
Oh,
all
that's right,
Mike, are
Jasmine's
going to
in.
be there this year. So we're
So-
come and see us. I have green hair / blue hair. It depends on how quickly I colored it,
Yeah.
and so does Jasmine. So just come and see us. Look for the ladies with the green blue hair.
they have the Visiting Angels color, so it's a good.
Yeah.
It's a
I
good
meant
color.
to bring my cup today.
And then I'll also mention, go ahead and put on your calendar as well. We have Coffee Talk at the end of this month. Samantha touched on that a little bit. Networking, again, not just for members. Any small business owner, entrepreneur, nonprofit. If you are,
marketing
making
for a
money,
company.
like if you're working, come out to Coffee Talk. We had close to, I would say 70 some business owners at Chick-fil-A this
Yeah, it was-
past
it was
month.
a lot.
So we're at Old City Cemetery this month. I'm really excited about it. It'll be the first time we've ever hosted Coffee Talk at Old City Cemetery in Lynchburg. And I'm really excited to go there and get to learn more of the history of the cemetery and be able to connect.
So remind me
them.
where that is again. Is that at the end of the dead end road,
What?
or is it the cemetery? Is it on a dead end road?
Oh, yeah.
It's like right in the dead center of town, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like you don't I can't speak. Like down 5th Street. Are you making fun
Woody
of me?
is dying over there.
Woody, stop encouraging him to make
It's a-
fun of me.
It's
I
a
just
popular-
love how you genuinely want to help him find.
I mean, it's a
And it's like-
popular. It's a
I do,
popular
I'm
place,
trying to
though. People are
explain
really
Mike,
dying to
I'm
get in.
trying to tell you where it's at. Will you listen to me?
Yeah.
It's like I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I'm
Dead
dead serious. Like
serious.
it's a popular place. People are dying to get in. So
Oh my gosh.
you can't sleep at night though because there's a lot of
This
coughing.
podcast was
Oh,
going really
God.
well until this last few seconds.
And on that note,
Explain.
folks, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say on that note, you can find more information about Coffee Talk or any of the other events that we spoke today on
CVABC.org. Join us next week for Talk Local to Me.